So I'm really excited. Tonight is a very special evening with Mynoo Maryel. We join together every Thursday night for our 108 Pearls of Wisdom. We were just saying we can't believe we're halfway through a year on the Pearls of Wisdom. This is the 26th Pearl of Wisdom. And tonight it is one of my favorites. I love the idea of vibrancy, what it means to be vibrant. And that's what we're going to be discussing tonight. So this 26th Pearl of Wisdom is vibrant. What does this mean? Where does it apply? And what impact does it have when combined with any other vibration? Well, if you're wondering like I am, we don't have to wonder much longer because Mynoo will be filling us in on exactly that. And she will be giving us 7 ways to amplify the positive vibrations by infusing vibrant into them. So this is going to be a really enjoyable night. We were just saying how much fun we have every week. And tonight will certainly be an evening where Mynoo will continue to surprise and delight. So as Mynoo always says to me, game on. And I think that's what this evening is going to be about. How can we start playing that game? And it's a game worth playing. It's a game worth excelling at. So we want to get ready and we want to play big. So I'm excited. I hope you are as well. It's really wonderful to have you all here on our Facebook Live because we get to spend just a few minutes with Mynoo before we bring on our other guests via Zoom. So thank you all so much for joining tonight and every Thursday. And as you know, Mynoo is also available on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays in the mornings for Beyond Meditation. And that is a whole nother level of going deep. So I hope that you can join us for one or all of those. It's at 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. You can use the same link that we use to come on to our Zoom meetings. So if you need that, don't hesitate to reach out and we'll make sure that you have that link to come on in the mornings as well. And again, tonight, if you're just joining live, is the 26th Pearl of Wisdom, which is vibrant. You know, I was just telling Mynoo that I dumped all of my black clothes and how interesting it is that tonight is the night of vibrancy. So yes, we are ready to play. It is a big game worth playing, and I can't wait to hear these 7 ways that we can amplify our positive vibes by infusing vibrant into them. So I'm very excited to always join you every Thursday night and to host these beautiful Pearls of Wisdom. And I'm going to go ahead and just have you get a chance to go behind the scenes with Mynoo as she has just joined us. Hello, Mynoo. How are you?
Hi, I'm very well. Thank you. Feeling vibrant.
You look vibrant. Absolutely. You're always radiating, though. I know there's a secret that you'll be delivering to us tonight. So,
Yeah, it's a great one. I really like this one. To me, it is like it follows, there's something else that follows vibrant, and yet it is whole and complete in itself. It has a vibe of buoyancy, so what I'm going to be sharing today really are those 7 different vibes of vibrant that you can add like a little catalyst into any vibration, and it completely transforms and amplifies that vibration.
Oh, I love that. And I when you were saying that, I was just feeling like bubbling, like vibrating and coming more alive. So I cannot wait to hear the secrets to infusing this Pearl of Wisdom, this vibrancy. Oh, so Mynoo, is there any secret that you want to give us behind the scenes while we're waiting for our other guests to join us at 5:30?
There's in 2012, I went through a series of silent retreats. It was like various. I would just receive an intuitive guidance that I had to go on silence for 3 days or 10 days or 15 days. And there was so many of them. I'd never really done anything silent before. But really what would happen is every time I would get that kind of an intuitive hit, I would also get given a topic. And I called that body of work Silence Wisdom. And one of those Silence Wisdom, and it was a 10-day retreat, was called Vibrant Vitality. And so the secret behind vibrant really lies in the vibration, and it's interesting, with all of the other pearls of wisdom, it's 7 pathways, 7 nuances, all that kind of stuff. And here it really are the seven vibrations that you can add to your high vibe.
It's
To
like the icing on the cake.
Yeah. Icing and the cherry and marzipan and everything, combined.
Deliciousness. I love
Yeah.
it.
So it really
The deliciousness of
secret of
living.
vibrant is in the vibrations. And that is what it does. Vibrant added to any vibration completely transforms that.
Well, I have a feeling tonight is going to be as juicy, if not juicier, than always. So I can just feel it. And I love the idea of how can we become more vibrant just in our daily lives. We kind of sometimes lose sight of that. So it's so exciting that you'll be giving us these tips in these 7 ways.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We've just come out of the slipstream that just finished on the 31st of May. And one of the things that I've experienced myself, and then I had somebody else who was in the Beyond Meditation group share her experience. I felt literally on the 31st of May as if, my feet would sometimes swell up when I would take these long distance flights, and they had started swelling up like that, even though there was no reason for them to. And they were starting. So clearly there was some water retention going on. And literally by the end of the 31st of May, that suddenly like something released and it was all gone. It was all fine. I was like, as if my lymphatic system started flowing well. And then I got a message from one of the Beyond meditators. She had a sapphire ring that she had put in her middle finger. And the finger had swollen, it had got stuck to such an extent that it was like really constricting blood flow for 3 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she wanted to go to a jeweler to get it cut off. And but then the lockdown hit and there was nothing that was available to her. So it was so much discomfort to her. And she lived in Rishikesh and now she's in New York right now. And she says, I just woke up and it was gone. It was fine. The finger just settled and the ring came off. Talk about a metaphor, She literally landed in this magical place where that discomfort vibration did not compute. So it disappeared. But that's the power of the vibration part. That's the secret, really. We can transform any experience whatsoever by completely transforming our vibrations, because only that which matches our vibration can exist in our reality.
I love it. Mynoo, I'm going to go ahead because everything that you're saying, I'm like just holding on to my seat here. And I'd love to let some of our guests in as we continue to go on just a little bit early. We have Maryel joining us and we have Cheryl joining us. So good to see you all. We're just getting started with Mynoo a little early on the 26th Pearl of Wisdom, which is vibrant, and very excited to go behind the scenes just a little bit with Mynoo and find out what tonight is the inside scoop, as I call it, the inside skinny that our Facebook viewers get to see every single week. So yes, Mynoo, carry on. I love this this whole Pearl of Wisdom, which we were just saying we're halfway through a year with our Pearls of Wisdom. And we have 108, so we're not quite at our halfway mark, but it's hard to believe we've been doing this for 26 weeks. Amazing. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Cheryl and Asha and Maryel. And I know we have others coming in the waiting room, and I'm just going to continue to allow them in. Connie's joining. We have quite a few people that will be coming in tonight. So thank you guys all for joining for this 26th Pearl of Wisdom. It's always a delight. And tonight we will be surprised and delighted, I'm sure, with these 7 ways of infusing vibrant into our life, positive vibes.
So, I was basically saying that the secret of vibrant lies in the vibrations. So, of all of these pearls of wisdom, it's been 7 ways and 7 insights and 7 pathways. And this one is 7 ways of amplifying the vibration of whatever it is that you are vibrating. So the exciting thing about this particular one is that if you can somehow get yourself into a space of feeling the positive vibe, whatever may be going on, just find the little sliver of positive vibe and apply any one of these ways. And you can, of course, apply all 7 of these. That gets amplified very rapidly. So I'm quite excited to share this.
I mean, Mynoo, I think it's a record. I don't think we've ever had this many people knocking at the door this early. So welcome, everyone. We decided to go ahead and open that door. It's really nice to see everyone, David and Helene and Lee and Linda. Hi, everyone. Tonight is our 26th Pearl of Wisdom, which is vibrant in all caps. And I know you are probably as excited as I am to hear Mynoo's take on this. So we just started a little bit early so that everyone could get settled in, get your pen and paper, and get ready to hear what Mynoo has to share. So thank you all for joining. And thank you, Mynoo, for taking us on this magical journey, as always.
Thank you. I'm just waiting for it to turn into 5:30, or it's 2:30 for me here.
Well, you know, it's so interesting that it is 5:30 right now, our time. And I know that when 6:30 rolls around, we're not going to want to leave. So we do have to close at 6:30, but I think every week we keep saying, this is the best one, this is the best one. And Mynoo just shared with me, this is the best one. So it just keeps getting better and better. So thank you guys all for joining. We're ready to get started. Cannot wait to explore this 26th Pearl of Wisdom, which is vibrant. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you. So Catherine, you will take care of the back room. Great.
I will. And most everyone has already arrived early. I think we have a lot of front row seats here. So thank you all for joining and being early. It makes my job a little easier. And I know I can't wait to dive in deep with Mynoo on this 26th Pearl of Wisdom.
Thank you. Isn't that so cool that everyone on Zoom is on the front seat? It doesn't matter where you are, how many of you are there. Okay, vibrant is one of the pearls of wisdom, which means this by itself is so whole and complete that if you only focused on this, you can actually create a world that works for everyone. So I was quite excited about this, and I was sharing with Catherine that in 2012, when I was going through my series of spiritual awakenings, 2012 was a year where I was guided to go on various silent times, and it was intuitive guidance, and every time I would be guided that, okay, it's time to go into silence. It would be for 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, 15 days. And I had one of those days which was all about vibrant vitality. So, even before I talk about what the 7 ways are of vibrant, the thing that I want to talk about is that the secret of vibrant lies in the word vibrant, which is all about vibrations. And now looking at it as a pearl of wisdom and looking at what is choosing to come through in terms of how we utilize vibrant, what I received is that it is 7 ways in which you can add vibrant to any of your high vibe states, and it completely amplifies it. So what are these 7 ways? And then, how you can work with those. So the first way is vitality. So what vibrant as a word or a phrase in itself, what that does is it infuses vitality in whatever it is that you apply it to. It's like the baker's yeast added to dough, and it creates this amazing fluffiness and texture, and it literally, that little dough ball amplifies. A vibrant is a little bit like that. In fact, it is a catalyst. It's not quite like yeast. A catalyst accelerates the chemical reaction. And this thing does that. The moment you add it, instantly, whatever it is that you're feeling gets amplified. Now, the good news is vibrant every word has an innate vibration. The vibration of vibrant is it's positivity. That's the innate vibration of vibrant. So vibrant does not react with low vibe. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't react with low vibe. It only reacts with positive vibes. So if you are in a state where it all feels, everything is imploding, and it just feels like, nothing can turn this around, and it feels sad or upset or frustration, whatever it may be, get that miracle lens out and start looking through it and find something that is making your heart sing. The fact that your heart is beating, that is the song of the heart. So there is a miracle there that is worthy of celebration. Find something and then apply vibrant to it. And one of the ways is vitality. So you can apply the vitality aspect to that particular vibration. So how do you know that you're applying the vitality aspect? You can, of course, choose the term vibrant. But I'm saying to you, the better you understand the nuances of each of these pearls, the more adept you are to utilizing them, even when the going is tough. So understanding that vitality is one of the ways of adding the vibrant vibe to this positive vibe that you've uncovered within yourself. How do you do that? You look at which aspect of you is that you can acknowledge as feeling vitalized at this point. And it could simply be the fact that whatever may be going on, your heart is still beating. So that vitality is there. And of course, if you're not in that state where everything is imploding around you, then you can just dance with it. There'll be so many different ways in which you'll be experiencing vitality. And you create a repertoire of actions that infuses vitality in you. So the moment you experience that vitality, you are adding vibrant to your high vibe. Now there are, those of you who've done deeper work with me, I train you on breathing exercises, and the Beyond Meditation certainly has several aspects that really make you feel that vitality. And there are many YouTube playlists that have already been set up, which take you through applying Beyond Meditation and the human vibe attunement to different parts of your body to uplift your vitality. So you can use any of those to create your treasure trove of vitality. So given that any of these ways the moment you apply those ways to your high vibe, vibrant energy is there and it multiplies. So given that is the case, really, for each of these ways, create your treasure trove, your tuck box of vitality. So it could be actions, it could be a move, it could be a color, And when you are looking at vitality, so I spent 10 days engaging with vibrant vitality. And in those that whole body of work is called Silence Wisdom. At some point I'll publish it. But literally, like every day, I would have such a huge deep dive on different nuance of vibrant vitality. But what it did was it gave me a collection of being words. The moment I choose to be a certain way, instantly vitality comes in. I don't necessarily feel super energized, but just choosing the be word gives me a state of being that opens up the doorway to vitality. Then I can combine that with a collection of doing words, which really are a reflection of certain actions that I can take. So you can start creating your collection of be words. And remember, read the Be book. It is also available in an audiobook form if you haven't already done so. There is a way in which Be word isn't just a flippant use of a word. You actually choose your Be word and you define what that is. And I know there are some postgraduates here of the Be book. I'm looking at you, Linda and Asha. You've read it back to front several times over. And Sarah, So this whole be thing, is such a powerful way of connecting to vitality. It's also important to understand that when you choose a be word, it is a state of being. How do you know you're being that way? It is the action you take. It's a state in which I am experiencing something and you've taken some action, and those are your do words. So if you are to activate the vitality way of vibrant, as vitality is going to be the aspect of this vibrant catalyst you're adding to your high vibe, just know what it does is it truly energizes you. It literally is like, it's a blossoming of life force that occurs. Literally, to me, it feels like, this magnolia tree that I have this vision of when I was in London, that for 4 years didn't blossom. And then I opened the door one day and it's filled with flowers. That's what happens when you go into this vitality part. It literally feels like there's this vitality and life force is blossoming within you. So it's totally worth it to take the time to start creating your treasure trove. And it's pretty cool to have multiple treasure troves that you can dip into. So vitality is the first way. The second one is inspiration. Inspiration is in spirit, I am stationed. It's a slightly different nuance of how we think about the word inspiration. In spirit, I am stationed. That is the nuance that completely amplifies in such a powerful way whatever it is that you add vibrant to. Because what it does is if you are
Audrey.
stationed in spirit. In spirit, you are stationed. Then you are connected to the spiritedness of you. You also, when you're connected to the spiritedness of you, you automatically connect to the spiritedness of others. And when you are stationed in spirit, it's like a massive declutterer. It literally is like there's such a breeze, like a cool breeze that starts to flow when you're stationed in spirit and you're plugged into the spiritedness of you, that it just blows away anything that doesn't belong. It just declutters very, very rapidly and in such a wonderful lightness of being way. So if you just so how do you actually implement it? If you just take that, okay, inspiration is the way I'm going to add vibrant to whatever my high vibe is. For you to know that you are in fact stationed in spirit, it's worthwhile allowing yourself maybe 5 minutes a day for the next 7 days, to just experience what it feels like being stationed in spirit. Like really connecting and plugging into the spiritedness of you, into the spiritedness of your pet, spiritedness of the blossom that you're looking at, whatever it may be. Already it starts to feel quite vibrant and revitalized. So when you plug into the spiritedness of anything and you are stationed in spirit, it literally feels like you're experiencing those champagne bubble-like experience. Those soft, gentle, but very certain bubbles that just keep going in a glass of champagne. And it's literally like that. That's what you're ingesting. The lightness of being experience that you have when you accept yourself in this vibration of in spirit I am stationed has got such a buoyancy about it that literally the buoyancy is such that heaviness just starts to drop off by itself. Like literally the load bearing capacity of yours that you may have chosen to hold on to just to feel, that, I mean, it's like, we use burden as a way of justifying many things. But literally, the moment you go into inspiration and in spirit, I'm stationed, you accept that unconditionally and start connecting to the spiritedness of you. It's as if you just rise, your wings become lighter and bigger and start flapping in exactly the perfect rhythm of whatever the current of the air is. And off you go. And I know, Catherine, you and I have experienced this, certainly when we did our journey into miracles in Bali, where when we had the fire ceremony, you had these butterflies going in and out of those sprinters of fire coming out of this huge cauldron that had all these amazing herbs in it. How are the butterflies doing it? They're not getting burnt. There is a lightness of being. There is nothing flippant or dismissive about lightness of being. It is a demonstration of in spirit I am stationed. Butterflies, bees, bumblebees, they're all that, a demonstration of that. And that's the second way of adding vibrant into your positive vibe. And it amplifies it and takes you along with this lightness of being. It's very exciting. Champagne bubbles. The third way is bountiful. So, how do you access this way? You access this way by counting. I talk about counting your blessings. What if you actually start counting the bounty that you amass every single day? From good experiences, bad experiences, beautiful ones, ugly ones, there is always a bounty of learning, insights, nuggets. What if you became conscious about it? So, create a treasure trove of bounty. The do's, the don'ts, whatever it is. And literally, you remember, we are still on a baggage-free flight. So, there's no room for you to start building up any baggage because there isn't a baggage carrier on this flight. So, having your treasure troves are vibrational treasure troves that connect the dots within your being, and your cells have a memory of, aha, this comes from the bounty treasure trove. So what's the bounty that you have gathered? I use it as a part of what I call as a digestion process. So that digestion process is how I started becoming aware that there is a bounty in any experience we have in life. The digestion process basically is, I apply it particularly when there's an emotional situation that might have occurred a long time ago, or that might have occurred just now, that was quite distressing. So it was a distress situation, or it was an upset situation. And counting your bounty from in positive situations, it's quite easy to do. But when there is something that is distressful, it's a little difficult. But really, if I'm talking about bounty, bounty applies across the board: good, bad, ugly, beautiful, everywhere, in all types of experiences. So when you're dealing with experiences that are not that positive, and you're applying the bountiful way, looking at the bounty, that's where you look at the digestion process. And it's useful to understand that digestion is a three-part process. There's ingestion, you ingest the food, you absorb the nutrients, and you excrete the rest. So when you are engaging with bountiful way of applying vibrant to your positive vibe, it's useful to practice this digestion process ongoingly. Whenever you have any experience that might cause a little bit of yuckiness or a bigger distress, take your time and look at, okay, this incident has occurred. I experience whatever I experience. I've ingested all of that. It's there. So what's in it that is like a nutrient, like a bounty for me to absorb? And it could be a learning. It could be a caution. It could be a particular nuance to your discernment going forward. Whatever it is, it could be a particular choice that arose. Whatever it is, by doing that, you've absorbed whatever the nutrients are, and excretion occurs automatically. The distress is excreted. At a cellular level, it doesn't exist anymore. And you have filled up your bounty treasure trove. So just like in digestion, you can engage quite deeply in terms of what you're excreting, or alternatively, you engage with what is a nutrient you're absorbing. Because excretion is just an automatic function, it will occur. Sometimes we remain bunged up because of certain situations, like physiologically bunged up, because there are certain emotional distress situations that have blocked certain parts of our large intestine. So applying the digestion process on these emotional triggers, capturing the nutrients, allows that movement to come back, and excretion occurs automatically. And what happens is your bounty treasure trove fills up, and bountifulness multiplies. So you can say, okay, I am applying vibrant, and I'm using the bountiful way this time. It's great fun. I've used it the last 7 days. This is great. I get to experience all of this and apply it before I share it with you. So I've said, okay, today it's going to be the bountiful application of vibrant. And it's been amazing. But in the process, the treasure trove has really grown and multiplied. And it's available to me all the time. It does not take that long. The fourth way is romantic. A romantic way. So romance is a way of living your life. We attribute it to an experience that can only occur when we share it with someone and someone special and stuff. And all of that is there, of course, it can occur. But actually, a romantic way is a way of life. It really is an adventure. And it's actually an enchanting adventure way of life. You can let your hair down, you can have a laugh, you can have a spring in your step because you choose to. When you stand up after this session, stand up and spring along in your room. And you experience that romantic way of living. It is a way of living your life. So, when I'm applying the romantic way to bring in the vibrant catalyst to my high vibe, I love a sense of adventure. I love that feeling of, the unknown, those butterflies in the stomach and that flutter in the heart and all that. I love it. Now, for some people, it's quite worrying, and I do have someone who I'm quite close to, and his vibe is certainty. So this sort of, stuff being completely in a space of uncertainty, it's not necessarily pleasurable for him like it is for me. It is great. Um, Regardless, there is something to look forward to. And your adventure only begins when you take that step forward. And you can choose not to go on an adventure. It can be an opportunity available to you, and you can choose not to take it up. And even the anticipation of it gives me that vibe of the romantic way of living my life. Like anything is possible. And the more that, I know pretty much everyone that is here on Zoom, at least, you've done so much of the work that I do, that you're the one that calls the shots. You can go on an adventure and have that adventure be, a thrilling one, an enchanting one. And you can go on an adventure and have it be a roller coaster that completely, gets you into a space of implosion. The choice is yours. How you choose to react is up to you. But romantic way of applying vibrant to your high vibe really is going on an adventure. When you do that, it really does call you to let your hair down and just move forward, focusing your attention on every step you're taking. Just knowing that you're landing on whatever you call a solid ground, so that you have that sense of safety and security is there, and you can go ahead and really enjoy the adventure. Now, you can share this with others, and you can share it just with yourself. And remember, we are in the realm, we are at a time where collaborative co-creation of coexistence is what is occurring. So you have got so many collaborators, even if it is nature all around you that's collaborating with you, experiencing this romantic way of living your life. And you know what I really love about romantic is the idea of, you can take baby steps. And you know what I love about baby steps? Just imagine those of you who've had babies, right? When they take their step, that's it. They've learned to take a step. They stand up and off they go. And that's what will happen when you apply the romantic way of living your life. You take that step and off you go. You can choose to sit down, but you always know you can stand up, take that step and run. So what helps me to choose is, I engage with the nuance. So, okay, I'm now applying romantic, and I'm going to use a romantic way of living my life. And that's the way I'm going to add vibrant to my high vibes today. I literally notice how it feels, what it feels like. Where in my body do I experience this? So that creates a cellular memory. Just like yoga or Pilates, you go back to that posture because there's cellular memories there. And that's what I would say to you. Take the time to build your cellular memories of what it feels like, choosing to have this romantic way of living your life. And do it as little baby steps, knowing that it is the baby steps that really are the big ones. It's the baby step strategy, which is the regenerative one. It's not a survival strategy. A baby doesn't take a step to survive. It takes a step and it knows it's thriving. The fifth one is about attunement. Now, this is an interesting one. This way it really calls you to be in attunement with you, with the rhythm of you. How do you express your rhythm? And here in the attunement section is where I connected to me at a sensory level. So my eyes. What do I feel like? What do I experience like when my eyes are in attunement with the innate rhythm of me? There's so much that occurs that sometimes we don't even want to see. And we lose that attunement of the sensory capabilities of the eyes, for example. And we start experiencing physiological weakness of the eyes. So what if your sight was in attunement to the rhythm of you? What it did for me when I looked at it like that, I saw that I wasn't ignoring anything. I was literally witnessing and seeing nuances of what was there in front of me. And I realized anytime you see anything, there are so many layers to what is actually being absorbed by our eyes. So Linda, when you have this wonderful relationship with your oak trees, there are so many nuances that you are actually, seeing. There is what you think your eye is seeing, which is a mind-related assumption, versus what is actually being shown to you. So this attunement part has taken quite a long time for me to really, really understand and grasp. Many of you know that I used to wear glasses. I used to wear glasses, and then I go on my spiritual awakenings, and suddenly I realize, oh, actually, I don't need glasses anymore. And I actually think it's this attunement piece that enabled that to occur. And yes, sure, I did do some eye exercises. But many people do those eye exercises. They don't necessarily get their sight back. I think it's a combination of, sure, doing the eye exercises to support the muscles and really giving that focused, nurturing attention to my eyes and really honoring them for what they are actually showing me. Not just discounting or just being superficial in terms of accepting whatever is being shown from a mind perspective, but really pausing, taking the time to spend with my eyes to really get, okay, what actually got shown today? This attunement of my sensory organs to the rhythm of me. I engaged in this for quite a long stretch of time. And I was in Bali, living in that wonderful home, Catherine, that you've been to and Sarah's been to. So I had quite some time really being there, looking at, okay, what has actually been shown to me. And I saw how much impetus and input we receive from our eyes that we don't honor, that we don't acknowledge. And we already know if you don't use something for a period of time, it stops working as efficiently as it was designed to work. If that can happen with mechanical objects, it happens with our body too. So this attunement part, when it comes to vibrant being added to amplify your high vibe, it is all about you being in the attunement of your rhythm. I didn't even know how to answer this my rhythm part, I thought, oh, great, I'll go to ecstatic dancing and I'll find my rhythm. That's where Catherine and I met, by the way. That was our first experience together. Come in, let's go ecstatic dancing. And that was one thing, but really, okay, I found my step and I found that I could move again, and that was all great. But the attunement part really came in from my sensory organs. I've focused so much attention on the eyes. And what if you applied that same level of attention to your ears? The ear is a very sensitive sensory organ. Physiologically, it's a very sensitive one. And you know what hampers hearing first before the eardrum or anything at all is the middle ear. The middle ear has very, very fine hair in it, and they move. And the rhythm of their movement is essential for you to have good hearing. And so often when we're hearing stuff that we don't want to hear, that we really, don't need it, we start, putting tension on those muscles that start to bring rigidity to that middle ear. And that has an effect on our hearing long before anything else affects it. So, and the right ear has a direct connection to the heart. And what occurs is when you stop blocking hearing stuff that you don't want to hear, there's like a tiny little droplet of grief vibe that directly impacts the heart. And heart chakra gets blocked by the vibration of grief. And then, of course, there are many other ways in which this blockage of the heart chakra shows up. Physiologically, it often shows up as, pain in the shoulders or sometimes even frozen shoulders. And of course, you will do whatever you need to physiologically to treat that, but do focus on the ears and get into attunement there. What if you actually looked at everything that you might ever have heard? I had no idea how much of what I had heard I had blocked out completely. It is not blocked out. It stays as a vibrational energy signature in your field. And which part of your field does it have the highest impact? Your ears. which are made up of so many different cells. Now remember, our cells regenerate. So you can, in fact, rebirth your entire body almost, in 9 months. And this attunement piece is a really big one. I found that, and I actually did that. I spent 2 years going organ by organ by organ in my body. But I realized much later on that I don't need to do that. If I apply attunement in this detailed way to my different sensory organs, I can transform my entire physical body. And it brings in a mental calmness, centeredness that does not go off. It just does not go off ever. And I'm free to experience the fullness of all my mental reactions and emotions without feeling it's going to take me out from my center, because I'm in attunement. So use your years as a way of really getting the fullness of whatever it is that you may have just pushed away. Apply the unconditional acceptance process of really noticing, okay, what is there? How do I feel about it? Until there is nothing else for you to feel or notice, that's when you make a conscious choice of unconditionally accepting what is. That gives you the freedom to move forward. And you can bring in the romantic way of living your life at that point and have access to that lightness of being. You can sniff when something is not quite right. You smell it. We all do. And we often ignore that. Doesn't mean you have to notice and act on it instantly, but hey, give yourself a chance to understand it. And really all it is getting even your your sense of smell to be in attunement with your rhythm. Taste is the same. Taste often shows up in the form of, gum infections and indigestion and all that, when it's not in attunement with your rhythm. And we attribute it to food, or we attribute it to a lifestyle. But really, when you are in attunement with your rhythm, you literally experience an explosion of tastes. You start tasting the nuances and the flavors that you choose to taste. And that shovel approach of shoving food in our mouth starts to disappear. I've certainly, noticed that for myself. Touch is the feeling part. So in terms of attunement, how do you apply attunement to touch? We often touch and it's an external thing. I'm touching something. Well, what if you say, okay, I'm actually going to feel the touch and allow yourself to feel. And you can actually do it with your own body, actually. You can literally just take your hand here and feel the touch of you. And they automatically start moving towards each other. And you can do this, with other things, other textures, other people. Allow yourself to receive the touch. Entrusting you to allow yourself to receive the touch, you're actually connecting to the attunement of your rhythm. You're attuning touch to your rhythm. It's quite an exquisite experience. transforms your sense of aliveness, applying attunement, to your touch senses. So attunement really is attuning you to the rhythm of you. And my guidance is use your sensory organs. And you have all sorts of, add-on benefits. The cloudiness or the haziness in your sight will start to disappear. The sharpness of your hearing will get better. That wonderful, flavorsome taste buds will get so absolutely activated and amplified. And you will feel the joy of actually being touched by the moisture, by the dew, by the tree, by another person, by your clothes. Because you are in the attunement of you in your rhythm. And when you are in your rhythm, you are comfortable, presencing your presence. You've literally given yourself this amazing present, the gift of you presencing your presence. That's the attunement way of adding vibrant to your high vibe. The sixth way is nurturing. It's interesting, there's a big difference between nourishment and nurturing. Nurturing is also a doing word, and it's also a being word. It's a doing, being, dance word. So, like a mother is nurturing. When you have your pets, you are nurturing, and then you give them whatever you do to provide nourishment. Nurturing is a choice that you make. So when I say apply the nurturing vibe, the nurturing way of vibrant to your high vibe, you start nurturing this high vibe that you are applying vibrant as a catalyst to. So what happens when you nurture a high vibe? It multiplies. It's a very clear instruction to the universe that, only has one modus operandi, which is to apply a multiplier effect. So it's pretty cool, really, I'm feeling good and I'm going to nurture that. Just imagine how wonderful that feels. I feel playful and I'm going to nurture that. How wonderful that feels. Like literally, for me, nurturing and mothering, they all come together. And I know what it is like. Like it didn't matter if my kid was having a tantrum. I'm still going to be this nurturing mother to him. So this high vibe comes and goes, doesn't matter. I'm still going to be nurturing to it until it just completely, amplifies and multiplies in a regenerative way. So using nurturing as the way in which, sorry, my German Indian accent combined, I have to really watch it with V and W, which I was saying, okay. I mean, way. So applying nurturing as the way of adding vibrant to your high vibe enables it to regenerate. Like it can't help it, but it just completely fills your being. It doesn't become a passing fare when you choose the nurturing as the way. And the seventh one is timeliness, applying the timeliness way. I mean, I know many of you who've done my work know that I always talk about, well, there is no time, and there is all the time that you can have. And actually, the timeliness way is that there isn't a perfect time for anything, and that all the time is perfect time. And really, that's what this particular way means. That you don't have to wait for someday, one day in the future. The timeliness is what really amplifies the high vibe. And the time is now. There is no need to wait. It's timely right now. And that's the joy of understanding the timelessness of time. Especially when you're applying something like vibrant as a catalyst to your high vibe. I love it. It's timeliness that counts, and the time is now. So why wait? So those are the ways in which you can apply vibrant to amplify any high vibe. And the great news is, if you're feeling low and down, vibrant doesn't operate as a catalyst to that. There is no reaction that takes place. So in amidst feeling low or down, find somewhere where there is a high vibe that you can relate to, and choose one of the ways. And let that do its magic. And choose another way if you like, as you start to connect with that high vibe. See, when you are feeling, in my world, you don't ignore anything. And you've heard me say this, there is no carpet, there are no closets. There's nothing to shove anything under. There's nothing to put anything away. Whatever is occurring, and it's there for you to see in its fullness. And life is meant to be easy. It's not about, you feeling crushed under it. It is about you finding that you have the power to step into your center and make a, considered choice to move forward. Honor yourself. You are the one that says whether you're worthy or you're not. And each of these pearls of wisdom are ways in which you become conscious of the choices you make. You start honoring your own worthiness, become the dignitarian that you are, reclaim that fullness of the remembrance of dignity that you're born with. And you start connecting and operating from your mastery. And that's vibrant. We have a few minutes for a few questions, Catherine. So I'm just going to bring you in. And,
thank you, Mynoo. Thank you for that amazing explanation in these 7 ways. I'm really excited to try all of these. I know so many others were writing away, taking notes. And I just want to acknowledge you, Mynoo. I just noticed in the comments that someone said that you're looking quite bubbly and vibrant yourself as you were delivering this. So you've inspired us. And I think we're all feeling that, just hearing you speak about it. It's one thing to hear it. It's another thing to implement this. And so playing that game that you spoke about in the beginning, it's like game on. Now it's really up to us to integrate this into our whole being. So I just want to remind everyone, it's so delightful every week to come and hear this from Mynoo, and then we get to actually bring this into our life. So thank you, Mynoo, for inspiring me. As I said, I threw all my black away today. So I'm like, game on, all about vibrancy. So there is one question from Asha wanting you to just elaborate a little bit more on romantic way of life. And I think that's a really important question. I know I was certainly intrigued. So if you could just spend a few more moments, and if there's anything else anyone needs further explanation on, just put that in the chat and we'll ask Mynoo about that.
Yes. I mean, it was quite wonderful to really realize that, romance is a way of life. And really, I can elaborate on it and it'll be theoretical. As long as you get that a romantic way of life is like you making a choice to go on an adventure and, letting your hair down, having a laugh, just enjoying whatever there is in its fullness and just taking that step forward, not necessarily knowing where that step is going to land. I'm not asking you to be careless here. I'm saying notice, observe, and make a choice to move forward. And that is really how it's meant to be. What happens when it comes to romance and romantic way of life, because we've associated it so much with another person that we somehow cannot even imagine experiencing that just in the way we live our life. You don't have to go away from that person. Of course, you can enjoy a fabulous romantic experience with another. And you can do that with yourself too. And you can do that in nature. You can just be there with nature. You can be there in your, where I got this whole, there's a body of silence wisdom called True Love and Romance. At some point, I'll be sharing those. And it was phenomenal. I really got to understand what romance is through that experience. And the bottom line is, yes, it was a 3 days of silence wisdom. And usually in silence wisdom, my sleep would be maybe half an hour or something. I would mostly be awake, receiving and writing and implementing. So really the bottom line is, it is about just knowing it is you on your adventure of your choice at a time that you want to go with it. And you can apply this to anything. Today, I'm going to live a romantic, in a romantic way. I'm going to apply this romantic way of life. It has its own nuance. It has your own touch to it. The main thing is, all I can say is let your hair down, have a laugh, just know that it's an adventure of your creation.
Mynoo, I love that explanation. And it was just reminding me so much of the days when you and I would travel quite often. For me, it is this sense of adventure travel, but for some, it might be cooking, right? Or it could be reading, or it could be whatever that person's love is. But I just was listening to your words and just remembering how exciting and how alive I would feel, the vibrancy of life and being in these exotic cultures and discovering unknown things that were new to my eyes. Thank you for that little that memory. So,
when I used to get these silence wisdom, intuitions, and I would act on it. This particular one was in Perth, and I would be like, okay, go into the car, and I would just know, turn right, turn left, stop here. This is where you're going to stay. And I got that. And you know where it was? It was a YWCA. It's like, seriously, I've been there, done that. I don't need to sit in YWCA focusing on true love and romance, really. This was like my logical brain was like really freaking out at that. So I did not leave my room. I was in this tiny little room. I paid a lot of money to have all the bunk beds and everything paid for in this little room of mine. And I received this amazing body of work, True Love and Romance. I didn't need to leave anything. And I see why that was. I could have been somewhere magical and I would have again attributed the romantic way of life to that. And here I was with these iron bunk beds and lots of noise outside the room, experiencing 3 days of true love and romance.
Oh, it's so fun. And, also, I would love to know, if anyone has a question, please ask. And I love that David and Helene are ready. Vibrant Vitality, game on. Yes. And there's something about even when you dream that you can go into this space. I don't know if Mynoo, you can elaborate on that, but I know I find sometimes I wake up and I just feel so alive because I've gone to like the Willy Wonka world.
And you can do it awake too. So literally each of these ways takes you, and you can create your own Willy Wonka chocolate factory that you can go into anytime you want. It's yours.
It's so lovely. It is a choice, right? And how lucky that we are that we get to experience it. Well, if no one else has a question, I know we're nearing the end of this magical evening. I would love to share some closing words, some closing comments, thoughts with Mynoo for this evening. I know it's been vivacious, alive, and exuberating. So I would love to read those for her as we close our evening. We have about a minute to go. So just like clockwork, Mynoo, somehow you end at the perfect time every Thursday evening. So let's see what we have here. I'm just going to reread. I love David and Helene's because I think that sums up tonight. Vibrant vitality, game on. Love it. Dea has delicious. Yes, indeed. And we have full-bodied. What a great word. Timeless nurturing. Amazing vibrating vibes. I love that idea of vibrating, percolating, right? Fabulous, exquisite aliveness. I know for me, I have to say it's this idea of this abundance and just this amazingness that just exudes. It's like you can't even stop it. It's just like coming out, right? Effervescent. Dreams and adventure opportunities unfolding. Yes. Bountiful romance. Okay, I love this. I lost it for a moment. Fantabulous, exquisite aliveness. Oh boy, luminosity. So beautiful. Can't wait to bring it all into attunement. Fully in spirit equals aliveness. And it is 6:30 on the money. So what a great place to close. Thank you, Mynoo. Thank you for making us all feel way more alive tonight. Thank you all for joining. Always amazing to see everyone. And we'll bid you farewell until one of our beautiful opportunities to gather again, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Beyond Meditation, or next Thursday night.
Thank you. Thank you all. Bye-bye.